Yo, what's good, boys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Spence Locks coming at you guys with analysis, predictions, a little bit of player props for our NBA playoff games today. So we got Indiana Pacers and New York Knicks starting at 7 p.m. and then we got the Timberwolves and Nuggets starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now, these, in my opinion, are going to be very, very interesting games tonight. And, public's going to say Timberwolves, public's going to say New York Knicks. I got analysis for both of these games. Both of the games are 2-0 right now in the series, right? And, so I'm going to give you guys analysis, recap, and I'm going to give you guys some really good player props to look at for today. That you can lock in as well. And yeah, guys, so let's just kick it off. So, Indiana Pacers home tonight versus the Knicks. Now, they just lost two close games in New York. Knicks were home both games. But to be honest, the Pacers, they were looking really good in both of these games. Halliburton, he looked a lot better. 34 points leading the team last game. Definitely a strong comeback after what we've seen from Halliburton in the past. He's been dealing with those back spasms, and he's been on the injury report for the last few games that he's been in the playoffs now. He finally was able to perform a lot better in this last game. Hopefully at home, he's going to be able to keep the consistency and have a hell of a game. More points than I expected him to have. Jalen Brunson, he's got a sore foot. He's definitely expected to play tonight. I mean, they're going to need him, but he's not going to be 100%. We're going to take that into account because everything matters with these playoff games, especially the health of players, because they're playing so many games in such a little period of time to rest that all of this is going to be impactful. OG Anunoby, one of the Knicks' best players, is going to be out with a hamstring strain. If you watch last game versus the Pacers, he strained his left hamstring, and he's out, and he's one of the best players. So this is going to be huge going into tonight's game and analysis, as well as Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. They're all going to be missing from this game for the Knicks. So the Knicks are looking pretty banged up. With Brunson not at 100% either, you would say that I'm pretty safe to say that it looks like Indiana's going to win this game at home tonight. And then you look at it as well. It's Indiana is 3-0 at home in the playoffs versus the Bucks. They won all three games at home. And that's kind of been a trend, at least for some of the matchups in the postseason here. As you can see, like between the Cavs and the Magic, every single team at home won in that 7-game series. Same with Indiana here, 3-0 at home. They're down 0-2 in the series versus the Knicks, but teams down 0-2 at home have been a strong play to win at home in game number 3. All right, now we saw that with the 76ers, okay? And I feel like that about the Pacers tonight, especially with New York not having a very strong lineup as what they're used to and being on the road. Indiana blew a 9-point lead in Game 1 versus the Knicks and a 12-point lead in Game 2, which means they're able to compete with the Knicks. And that was something that a lot of people were wondering, even going into this matchup, Game 1, like, are the Pacers even going to be able to hang with Brunson and the Knicks? And to be honest, they couldn't execute. Similar to the Lakers and the Nuggets, the Lakers came out punching the Nuggets in the first half almost every single game of the series. They just couldn't close. They couldn't execute, and they couldn't win. And I think that Indiana will get it done tonight, only because also you got to realize, like, guys, this is National Basketball Association, right? The playoffs, everything's tied around views, money, advertisements, gambling, betting, right? And you got to think they got, like, if teams are just getting swept in the playoffs, it's not a very entertaining playoffs, right? If these games are going to Game 7, Game 6s, like look at the Cavs versus the Celtics last night, a fucking blowout in Boston. Nobody saw that shit happening. This shit is getting interesting, which is what the NBA wants. So just always keep that in mind, guys. Don't just because the teams are better, like the Celtics last night. The Celtics fucking lost it at home, just like they did against the Heat at home the other time. Maybe the Knicks take their foot off the gas a little bit as well tonight. Something to look at when you're deciding your bets for tonight's game. But if you're looking to play and let's talk about the lines here. So we got 7.5. There's a spread 7.5. The total is at 222.5 right now. So it's like, if you're looking to play the over, I'd wait to see if OG is playing and how Brunson's playing when the game starts before locking that bet in. Obviously, I don't think OG is going to play, but nonetheless, before even touching that, I would see how Brunson's shooting in the first quarter and then making a decision on the over or under for that point total game. But yeah, I am leading Pacers. For this game, it's just a question if they can cover the spread. It's just a question if they can cover the spread. And nobody really fucking knows. So it's just kind of a call you have to make. I do think Pacers win this game, though, and they're going to need to win this game or else they're going to most likely get swept. Let's look at a side of player props for these games. So obviously for the first game, Jalen Brunson's line's at 35.5 points. Now, he did go out of the game. He only missed it last game probably because he left early in the game for the whole entire second quarter. He ended up coming back after halftime. He got like 29 or 26 points and ended up going under. Now, Brunson's never a guy I'd want to fade. He's a fucking superstar. I never would want to fade him. But I just don't know how healthy he is. And so I wouldn't touch him tonight. I definitely wouldn't fade him. I also wouldn't go over. He's on the road, and it's just somebody I wouldn't touch. I have other player props for you guys that I would touch. Josh Hart. That's a guy that, right now he's gone over in points in 7 out of the last 8 playoff games. He's at 17.5 tonight, and he's gone over 16.5 in the last 7 out of 8 games. And if you guys think about it, with OG Anunoby out, with Brunson not at 100%, Josh Hart is going to have to score if the Knicks even want to remain competitive tonight. So I would definitely look at Josh Hart tonight to score a ton to keep the Knicks in the series, in the game tonight. Another one that we've been cashing on every single time we lock him is Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin, guys, he's been absolutely cooking for us and for the Pacers, and this guy is just an absolute beast of an athlete. Have you guys seen him play? This guy is huge but athletic. He's mogging guys for rebounds. He's fucking putting up points. He's giving assists. Overall, this guy is a fucking beast. I seen him play in person in Miami. Nothing bad to say about him. And we've been rocking with him for the last 3 days, last 3 games, and he's cashed for us every single time. And I'll tell you guys, tonight, let's look at him at over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's hit this line in 6 of his last 7 games. Tonight, he's playing at home against a banged-up Knicks team, and the Pacers are 3-0 in the playoffs thus far. Also, his matchup is usually OG Anunoby, who is most likely out tonight after suffering a left hamstring injury versus the Pacers in Game 2. So, he's been hot. He's at home. His really good matchup defender is out tonight. I would definitely look for him to score more than 16 points, 16.5 points, rebound, assists. I mean, he can hit that in just just points alone. And I want to show you this real quick. I forgot to show you it with Josh Hart, so I'm going to show you with Josh Hart too. But this is what we got right here. Now, this is his last 20 games, right? And as you can see, this is 16.5, right? And tonight, look at this. He's been hitting this every single time. And even the last 10 games, right? This is what he's been doing. He's been putting up. His line has stayed at 16.5, even though he's drilling 24, 21, 31, 22. He only misses by 1, right? 1.5. And then he's still hitting this line every single time. And let me show you guys Josh Hart real quick. This is Josh Hart points. So, Josh Hart points, he's been drilling that the last 2 games, missed it by 0.5 or 1.5, right? But nonetheless, Josh Hart has been competing, and Josh Hart is going to need to have a night tonight, like I said, if they want to stay in this game here. But yeah, back to the traditional view here. I'm spicing up my setup. If you guys fuck with it, let me know. So yeah, those are the player props I have for that game tonight. And yeah, real quick before I go into the second game, guys, I have a ton of VIP slips tonight. I got 3 big VIP plays tonight where I'm throwing thousands of dollars of my own money. These are my best bets. These are on my winnable here. Guys, I'll show you the screen. And you can grab a subscription. You could either do a day, a week, a month, or a year. Use the code PLAYOFFS for 20% off of any of these. So you want to grab a year. It's going to last you all the way to NBA playoffs next year, and that's going to include football season, the entire football season. Get it at 20% off, and an entire NBA season for next year. That's a fucking steal. You could run it for a month too. That's great. It'll get you through the entire rest of NBA playoffs. Yeah, guys, use code PLAYOFFS if you guys want to save 20% on that. And also, if you guys check the link in the descriptions, you guys can use my promo code Spence or the links in the descriptions, and you can get double your deposit on any of the DFS apps if you're doing player props like PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Betr. Use my code Spence or the links in the description. It'll double your first deposit. That's free money. Also, there's sports books, so if you want to get DraftKings, FanDuel, Hard Rock, use the links in my description. It'll give you extra money and bonus bets. Like, these bonus bets are huge, guys. Like, Hard Rock, for example, will throw you an extra $100 all the time. Just free bets. Basically, you can turn 100 into 600, whatever you want. So make sure that you guys are 21 and up for the sports books. If you have a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bet responsibly. And those links are all in the description of the video. Thanks, guys, for supporting me on that, by the way. So let's get into the next game here. We got the Nuggets and the Timberwolves at 9:30 p.m. Eastern tonight in Minnesota. Now, I know you guys have been watching this series so far, and it's been fucking crazy. I mean, game one was really close. I actually called game one. I said the Wolves, and I had Wolves +8, I believe, on the spread. They won, and they would have covered easy, so I cashed on the Wolves game one. Now, game two, I didn't expect them to win game two. I think game one, especially at home again with game two, they did fucking destroy the Nuggets in game two. It was embarrassing. But game three tonight is going to be different. And it's going to be different. Look, if the Cavs can beat the fucking Celtics at home, anything's possible. All right? And you got to think also, people ask me all the time, is sports and sports betting rigged? You got to understand that I don't know the answers to everything. But I do know that whether it's NFL, NBA, MLB, UFC, boxing, it doesn't fucking matter, guys. This is all a business. This is all a business generated on views, generated on advertisements, generated on gambling and wagering and sports betting, generating on, do we want the Nuggets to go down 3-0? We want to keep it competitive so that the games get more watch time, the games get more views. People start talking about the NBA more. The NBA makes more money. All of the advertisements that are being ran during the games are more expensive because there's more people watching them. Guys, this is a business. All right? Although the Timberwolves are a better team, I would 100% say the Timberwolves should win the fucking championship this year. There is nobody that is stopping them. Nobody. However, in this game, and I do think the Nuggets lose the series. However, I do think the Nuggets lose the series. They're the weaker team by far. They cannot hang. They got Jokic. Murray's playing like dog shit. Jokic was put on a leash last game, but Jokic is the only one. Bro, the Nuggets are a good team, and I think they will win tonight. I do think they will win tonight, or they will at least cover the spread. I do think that the Nuggets will tonight. And honestly, if you look at the stats, the Timberwolves play better away than they play at home, which is the rarest thing ever. Not that matters too much, but I do think we're in a situation, right, where the Timberwolves are, especially after last game, they're cocky. They're feeling like the Celtics, right? And the Celtics destroyed the Heat, and then they lost to the Heat, and then the Celtics destroyed the Cavs by fucking 20-something points, and then they lose by 30 points or 20-something points to the fucking Cavs the next game at home. Nothing is impossible, and you guys got to think, if you're the league, do you want this going to 3-0 series? Potentially a sweep against the championship team from last year? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. Because you want these teams to play. You want more airtime. That's, that may be just me just talking shit. But you got to think I'm onto something here. And so be very wary. Obviously, the public is all riding with the Wolves. That's another thing, bro. The public's all riding with the Wolves, and they're going to get you until the fucking league pulls the rug out on you, bro, and fucking takes all your money because, yeah, like the Wolves are the better team, but this shit ain't always about who's the better team, bro. There's a lot of variables in this shit. Now, Rudy Gobert, they won last time without even Rudy Gobert. He had a kid. Congrats to the man. He had a son, bro. That's fucking unreal. The defensive player of the year. The Wolves won 106-80 in game 2, and they had no Gobert, which is unreal. Unreal. The Nuggets just had a terrible game. Terrible game, and you got to think they bounce back. They have to. They have to bounce back. How many times is Minnesota going to win like that without having a slip-up? The Nuggets, if they don't win tonight, it's wraps. It's over on their season. So you got to think they go down with a dying chance. Denver shot from just 35% from the field and 30% from the three-point line in game 2. It's terrible numbers, horrible shooting. They were locked up all fucking game. I told you guys, Joker was on a leash like a dog. If you want to look at a team total over tonight, I think the Nuggets team total over 100 is looking pretty nice. I think the Nuggets come in tonight and handle business. I think they score a lot, right? And that's going to lead us into our player props for tonight. Rudy Gobert, you can look at him. He's worth a look. This is a lean for me. This isn't a lock, but Rudy Gobert, 13.5 rebounds and assists over. You can look at that if you guys want to add that in somewhere. It's not an official lock for me, just a lean. However, some things I feel stronger about are Nickeil Alexander-Walker, over 8.5 points and assists. Now, if we look at this, guys, I'll explain it to you first. Walker's hit this line 4 out of 5 games. 4 out of 5 of his 5 last games. All right? In 3 of those 5 games, he recorded 15 or more points and assists, which is almost double what his line is at tonight. It's 8.5. So 3 out of the 4 games, he's done almost double what it is at tonight. And I'll show you guys that right now. So let's head over to the screen here, and you can see it right here. 8.5. These are his last games. So although, the first game against Denver, he only had 5 points and no assists. He only needs to get a combined 8.5 assists and points. He crushed it with 14 points last game against Phoenix. Hit, and it's not even like it's close. Like the line looks like it's very low for him. Let's look at his last 20. I mean, this guy, I think this is a lock tonight. At home, I think this is a lock tonight for him. Just being simply put. I feel strong about it. But nothing's guaranteed in this game, especially with player props, bro. These players sometimes show up, and sometimes they just don't. Like, look at Aaron Gordon just showed up, bro. You know what I mean? Like, like Derek White on the other night, who's been cooking every single night. In the last game, he just fucking sucked. You just never really know, and that's why I have a hard time sometimes with player props. And for my VIP clients, it's just, hey, like, here's player props. Ride them with caution because you never know how these players are going to play until they fucking start playing. It's really tough, bro, because sometimes they'll be red hot and sometimes they'll just have 0 points. It's like, where the fuck did this guy go? And so that's why for my VIP, I'm sending all the player prop slips, but also I'm giving you guys, like, the spreads or the totals or the game winners or the over-unders, right? Like, I'm giving you guys, like, better plays, so there's more of a chance than if a player fucking shits the bed. You know what I mean? So let's talk about another player prop for that game. Michael Porter Jr., over 17.5 points and assists. Since the start of the playoffs, Porter Jr. has hit 19 or more combined points and assists in 6 out of the last 7 games. Despite the recent Game 2 blowout loss against the Wolves, Porter Jr. has been red hot, and I expect him to make a bounce back tonight. And I will just look at Porter Jr. here on the sheet, guys. Look at this. Last 10 games, he's hit this 70%. Right, 7 out of his last 10 games, and if you guys can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 out of the last 7 games. He had a terrible game last game with only 9 points, but this shit is easy cashing when Porter's shooting threes. Like I said, that the Nuggets only were like 30% from the 3-point last game. Expect a bounce back. That's how this game works, guys. This is how NBA is. When a team does really well, when a player does really well, they usually regress. When a player does really bad, 1-2 games in a row, expect them to bounce back. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. So Porter Jr.'s been a fucking threat all playoffs. He's been a menace. He had a bad game last game. I think the Nuggets are going to win. I think Porter Jr. is going to have a fucking game, or at least hit his line. Okay. But yeah, that's the video for today, guys. If you guys would be so awesome to like and comment and subscribe to my channel, like that would mean the world to me. I put in a lot of effort, and as you can see, I got the graphics on the screen. I got the fucking backdrop set up. I put in hours this morning at like 5 in the morning getting you guys all these research and take notes, studied for hours, watched a bunch of film, and I'd really appreciate if you guys want me to keep doing these free videos for you guys, if you guys would show me some love and support on the video. Like I said, my VIP, I'm in heavy tonight. We've been crushing on VIP. So make the investment, get that secondary source of income. Use code playoffs for 20% off. I love you guys that support me. I hope you guys are enjoying my VIP picks and the product that I'm giving to you guys. And I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Let's pull up tonight. Let's do business. Spence Locks.